What's up guys, Ronny here and welcome to this account showcase of mine, presenting you my builds and everything. Now this is gonna be a re-recording because quite frankly I did this already a few days before the season ending. But during that time in preparation for the tournament I got quite a few of upgrades done here and there on my builds, and even now when we're already in the new season I got a few upgrades here and there. I finally got my I got a few Tiamat dupes finished, which got me this week to the Tiamat P5 as she was in the shop. And let's go right into the builds, shall we? So first up I have my Doky on a Reaper Steps. Now I need to try around more with the Doky as a bit of an answer to Plume and Ban Protect her. Because the Plume, what's scary is right now in the new season, I think the Plume overpowers the Fusho. So the Plume is very scary because of the, damage adjustments and everything. And the Doky can make it that she pushes up then after the Plume goes, right? She's at, what is she, 290. Pushes up 20% after the Plume goes, pushes her entire team up. And then my entire team gets to get rid of their death breaks. And that's the main thing here that I'm looking at. I really don't want my units to be defense broken. Maybe the Aya is going to be even better than the Doky once she's out. We'll have to see about that. But I just don't want to have my units be defense broken, because one of the scariest things with the Plume is some kind of aggro in their first turn where a Plume death break breaks everyone's spec, and then the Rahu ult comes in and just nukes your entire field. And you're not going to be able to recover from it. He gets a random kill shot at the beginning of the fight. So you really want to avoid that. And also the Reaper Steps, good against the control, of course, helps you a lot in terms of the push-up. You can also run her on Strive instead of Swift Rush. I would even say Strive is probably better than the Swift Rush if you have good Strive pieces. I just didn't have a Strive Bloodbath Swift Smite Reaper Steps until a few days ago. So this is why I have this one on her, and probably the Strive one will be on the Aya once she's out, right? Quick note here before we continue, make sure to like and subscribe please. It would help me and my channel tremendously. And then we have the Messiah. Now the Messiah, this build right here, was actually a turn 2 Messiah, believe it or not, but once Plume came out, we didn't really get much play, because the idea was as follows. I first pick Fusho, then I go, then I look what my opponent picks, okay, see this and that, then go Holton plus Lily in the Ban Protect, and then if my opponent doesn't go any strippers at all until his 4th pick, I can just lock the Messiah as the other DPS next to the Holton, and I will have an invincible Messiah because I can just ban Lost when he picks a stripper on the last pick. And then I have an invincible Messiah for the entire game because he would be Law of Silence first turn. Then in his invincibility, after his first turn finished, then the Lilith's gonna reset his ult. He's gonna be invincible again the next turn. And then when he wouldn't be invincible, he goes back to Law of Silence for 2 turns, so he's not targetable then again. And then once he would go out of Law of Silence, he's going to ult again, and he's going to be invincible again. So as you can see, this was a very fun drafts especially. But now that the Plume is out, it's kind of hard to not have the stripper in the game unless you ban her, for example. But yeah. This one, I might just now, because I can't really draft him in turn 2 anymore, keep him on Law of Silence, but put in a Bulwark onto him as well against the Cleavers. I'll have to see about that. Now the Lilith, this is my preparation for the Lilith once I have her leveled up, skilled up. Now the Lilith in the last season, I can show you guys my last season build here. This was actually the build that I was running on my Lilith for the end of the season, when the control players were kind of getting on my nerves. And it was a full FRS Lilith because she has such high base hit chances anyways. She doesn't really need that much F accuracy. So if my opponent controls me, he lands a few debuffs, Alicorn goes, cleanses everything, you know, and then she's able to control the controller, even with a little F accuracy, and goes from there. So this was my idea of the Lilith before. Now that I will invest into skill ups for the Lilith, she's gonna have a little bit of a different plan here, and that is gonna be a Bulwark set. I would give her a Bulwark, Bloodbath, Swift Smite, Jackal if I had one. Well, I have one, but this is on someone else, as you will be able to see. Very sneaky here. But now I'm just running the Bulwark because I'm a bit worried about Holtons. You know, you don't want her to be reset by a Holton. So I'm just running this for now, and eventually probably swap to the Jackal. And as you can see, the speed will go up quite a bit once I have her S1 leveled up as well. And then I'll go from there. But this is going to be the build for now. Now the Hinrich has someone I've been actually liking a lot to punish certain drafts. I think I can definitely get away with less F accuracy though. I think the accuracy that I have on my Hinrich is a bit overkill, because I don't really draft him the way control players draft him, where you just draft him into cleansers anyways. No, I draft him purely against no cleanse builds, so therefore they now won't have too much F res. And this has 150% F accuracy, as you can see. We have another 50% here. We have the Dark Moon. It's 250% accuracy in the first turn. But at the same time, I like it into the Fusho, and the Fusho is usually on F res, so actually I'll keep it this way. So the Dark Moon I really like. You can also definitely, if you have another Swift Smite, Bloodbath and Bulwark, or Swift Smite, Bloodbath and Speed, Jackal Guard, that works just fine for that Hinrich. For sure, as well for the turn 2 Hinrich. But definitely double or 1 F accuracy for the turn 2 Hinrich is what you were going to be looking for. And then we have now my new unit here. Oh, the Fox Mommy Shiada on a Bulwark Jackal Guard. Reason being, the Love Silence buff doesn't apply a stack for her passive, which is very annoying, but it is what it is. So I'm trying to run this. That said, I need some more testing on the Shiada, because for now I'm a bit on the fence on her. Of course, my Shiada is 1-2-1 in the skill up, so there's that. But there's so many new units that we will have to build up thanks to that balance patch, right? We have the Aya as an anti-CC unit. We have the Kokardi as probably an anti-Rahu unit, who's gonna probably butcher the Rahus. And then we have Lilith as well. We have Born. We have so many Shiada as well. So many units to Lattice and so little Lattice. So, but this is the idea is basically of that Bulwark Jackal Guard. You get 1 stack from the Bulwark, you get another stack from the Jackal Guard, and you already have 2 stacks off rip without needing anything. Gets you very fast to be more tanky, and helps a lot. I think the Love Silence is not the play, especially because the Love Silence buff doesn't apply to your buffs. And when I played against the Love Silence Shiada, you could just more or less ignore her, because she cycles so little and her damage is so little. It wasn't good enough. So I think either a Jackal Guard might be the play, or something like a Count or a Revelation even with Bloodbath, or just aggro Shiada might also be the play. Maybe Shiada Protect the President is not the play, but aggro Shiada is the play. I definitely think with Shiada you kind of want to secure first turn yourself to at least apply some buffs, so she has some bonus tankiness, because otherwise she falls too early, right? And you really don't want that to happen. Now Kloss, I mean, since Plume came out, there's no need to play Kloss, is there? So yeah, there's that. And then we have Tiamat. Tiamat got a lot of upgrades, right? Since the weekend and the tournament, since compared to last season, my last season Tiamat, what was she, like P3? Now she's P5. And now she has quite a good amount of speed. Look at the HP now, it's beautiful. I got a lot of upgrades lately. and I like her a lot. She's the apex predator of all of the DPS in the game. She's just a monster, and this is my build around crit damage, crit rate, HP. I know a lot of people run double HP. I know some, and I think you can go either, right? You can't go wrong with crit damage, crit rate, HP. You can't go wrong with HP, crit rate. Both works very well. What I like with the crit damage is you can just one-shot cleavers with a single audit. If you take first turn on her, you know, if you just have a Tsukiyomi that outspeeds your opponent, and they ban, for example, my Yeli, and they be like, okay, what are you gonna do now? And then I push up my Tiamat, and she just taps the enemy Messiah with a normal auto hit. It's kind of funny. Now then to the Rahu. The Rahu also got quite a few upgrades, especially in the speed department. I had him giga slow. Now he's a bit faster than previously. I like him to have actually 100% crit rate. I know you don't really need to have 100% crit rate, but on single hitters, I like to have pretty much 100% crit rate, whereas on multi-hitters, I'm not too worried about having 100% crit rate as much. Now, and he is probably the one I'm max duping next, I'm working on, but at the moment I'm also considering duping up the Shiada. I just pulled her a few days ago. Yeah, I snapped my credit card in half to get a Shiada once I saw the buffs. Oh boy. But at least we got the Shiada, and I also got a Hoi An from that that I didn't have for very long. But yeah, gotta dupe him up. Then my Lily, Amber without Bloodbath. This has been the build I've been running basically for always, kinda. Now before the tournament, I was testing around again with the Bloodbath Gigabyte and Bloodbath Artisan to see how these work, but I just think you want speed on her, and the Amber punishes them still for hitting her a bit, which is nice. And I just saw Brad's video earlier, and he has a Strive on her, which is of course better than this, but I don't have good Strive pieces, so I cannot afford to go Strive there. I just don't have fast Strive pieces to deal with this. Even my Swifts, my piece is kind of iffy. Spent most of the time in Doky, and as we all know, in Doky you don't really get too many Swift Rush pieces, do you? But yeah, this is my Lily as of now. Then here do we have my Lingluo. Now I just have a Bulwark and a Gigabyte just raw on it. You can run Reaper Steps on her as well, but I just like the Gigabyte on her. I just like it, right? A lot of speed as well, some tankiness, some FRES. As you can see, some bonus FRES here as well with the Insight. Speed, plus 20 speeder even, which is nice. And yeah, FRES, some bulk as well, a little bit of bulk, so you can she doesn't just fall over in a turn 2 match, and quite a good amount of speed with the Gigabyte is very, very good against control. It's also good in turn 2, especially at the moment now. Turn 2 is having more and more control units in there, and the Lingluo's priority, just like in Season 0, is going back up to the Apex tiers at the moment. Then we have the Holton. I think my Holton mainly, just like all the other bruisers, mainly got some upgrades in the speed department. He used to have more defense, now he has a bit more speed. 240 speed with Strive. I've been running this, I think, last season as well, pretty much. Just some upgrades here and there. You don't really need 100% on the Holton's crit rate, as he just has multi-hits, so 90 is completely fine. Then here's my Veronica. Codex of Magic. Now the Codex of Magic for turn 2 has been nerfed, and the Halloween has been buffed. That said, I haven't played many games in Season 2 quite yet, so I can't really elaborate there if Codex or Halloween is definitely gonna be better. The thing is, the way I draft the Veronica usually is in quite fast-paced games anyways. And in fast-paced games, it doesn't really matter if the Codex extends her ultimate one turn, because the games won't take that long, right? But yeah, Codex of Magic, Bulwark, Bloodbath, Swift Smite, with Insight, right? Yeah, with Insight, some bonus. She's 455, and she's performing quite well. I like her. Then we have a Lilium. Now, Lilium, 3.5k attack, 300% crit damage with Harvest. I think Kina and Fury Edge are actually better. I've ran Harvest for a long time. I think Harvest is good. But I believe Kina and Fury Edge, after a long time now, I've come to the conclusion that Kina and Fury Edge might probably be better. I just don't have good Kina and Fury Edge pieces, so I'm still running that Harvest as, you know, as long as it works, it's fine, right? Then I have a scuffed Hoyen, 111 Hoyen. I tried her in some games, practice games. Once I, you know, pulled her. I haven't played her once because I just pulled her very recently, just like the Shiada I pulled very recently. And Mahoyan, I mean, that build is just scuffed. She doesn't have skill ups. She doesn't even kill squishies with her ultimate. So she's a bit of a fake Hoyan at the moment. My Yelly, honestly, Yelly, the only time I use Yelly is to reverse cleave, and that's it, right? I never really draft Yelly outside of that. She's a P0 Yelly. Maybe with a P5 Yelly, you're able to build her, draft her in turn 2 matches as well. So she survives a little bit more, she does some more damage, maybe then she's viable. But P0, not really viable in these bruiser matchups, I think. Then my Tsukiyomi, I have to say, guys, I can't show you guys this one, right? It's just a full speed Tsukiyomi. Around 350, maybe more, maybe less. But I can't really tell you guys the exact number. Because she's my speed contester, and for the speed contester, the most important thing is that that my opponent doesn't know how fast I am, right? Because otherwise it's easy for them to draft around that. Then my Fusho. Now at the end of the season I sped her up a bit, gave her a little bit more speed. I have Bulwark, Bloodbath. I just don't have, and also I have the synergy here. I really like the synergy on the Fusho actually, and the FRS here. Really like that synergy on the Fusho. Increasing the damage from my team, and then also increased healing effect would be cool here to have a bit of better supernova. And I have double FRS, I think, double FRS pieces, yeah. And as you can see, I put some speed now on her, and I might even speed her up even further. I might even speed her up actually quite a large amount of speed now, because I feel like the new season just a lot more speed. The games are a lot faster. You don't need the Fusho to be in her ult that long anymore. I don't see how you really need her to be that slow at this point. So probably speed her up. Maybe invest in some Lattice skill 1. Probably not, because who has spare Lattice? She's 115, by the way, if you're asking. Then this is my Mio. Now I made a fatal mistake, guys. And this was, I put my Mio on Bloodbath for the tournament. And that cost me game 1 against Brad in the semifinals. And I had her on this build the entire season, and it worked exceptionally well. And I think Bloodbath is not the play on her. You just want her to be fast, right? Just full speed. You don't really need her on Bloodbath, because you're only drafting her, or the way I draft her, against no cleansers. And then you don't really need Bloodbath, you don't need survivability, because your opponent is not going to take a turn anyways, right? So you don't need to survive someone who's not hitting you, right? You just need speed. And that cost me game 1, because then Brad was able to outspeed me with his Lily, because I had her on Bloodbath, push up the Holton, reset her, and then there was game. Big blunder from my side there. I was just too used to my Mio being on speed all the time. And before the tournament I got cold feet, and I thought, oh, what if I miss a little bit here and there? Maybe Bloodbath safe for this and that. I think not, right? After this, there was a very hard lesson to be learned. Back to full speed, right? This is the build. It's what is it, 330-ish. So yeah. Then Plume. Of course, Evilguard, because we don't have a Swift Smite. We've been in the Hoyan mines for long, but apparently not long enough. Pretty much the same as I had it when I made my Plume showcase video. 1 F accuracy piece only and double survivability. But changed her to Jackal Guard simply because, I also have Insight actually. might go for a gaze actually, but the inside is doing well, so I don't really want to get rid of that 60% inside, you get me. But Plume, Jackal Guard is better for turn 2 of course, and the Codex is better for cleave and aggro drafts, and she's just fast with blood buff, a little bit of F accuracy, quite tanky, beautiful unit. Then my Rin, as you can see, half geared at this point. I drafted her a few times, didn't really go the way I wanted it because I don't have a lighthouse with Strive. And without Strive, you need insane speed to cut the cleavers. Right, the top tier, like the best cleavers in the world, are giga fast. And I can tell you, like a 80 speed, I don't know how fast she was. Let's just put something on here. Let's see how fast this is. Yeah, almost 290 speed, you're not cutting with the lighthouse. That's the crazy part against these cleavers. And if you do cut, then you still gotta hit your CC, which I wasn't able to do. Now, of course, this season they patched that she has like 100% chance to hit her stuff, I think. So maybe this is gonna be something that she can do now. But didn't really draft her that much. I just resorted back to banning the Messiah instead of trying to play against it. Then my Sonya, honestly the Sonya will be changed. The Jackal Guard will be removed, I can tell you this much already. I will go for the build I had on the tournament with the Gigabyte. Back to the Gigabyte, now that Plume is out, I think the Gigabyte is better. So Gigabyte will be the play here, and some speed and blood buff. Then the Viper, I didn't really draft much. I think he's very niche. Usually when I pick the Viper, I'm usually in a bit of a desperation in the draft, because the enemy got me in a chokehold. I think that was against Brad in game 2. I think I drafted the Viper and I lost it. And yeah, it's usually like a cop out draw pick I try to pick, but he can work sometimes when the premier bruisers are out, and against the Lilium, especially against the Lilium, and the Lily can work, put in a lot of work there, reduce their cycling by a large margin. But he's also quite squishy with the golden line, didn't draft him too much. Now my Valerian, I just put some random gear on right now for this season to try to test her with the, can I say it, Shiada. I think Valerian with Shiada is very good in combination. The sustain, the buffs you get from the Valerian help the Shiada a lot. But that would mean that you need the Shiada to be band protected, which leaves your opponent to have the ability to probably counter your Shiada with some picks, because you had to pick the Shiada quite early. Because otherwise, if you don't band protect the Shiada, let's say you have a Shiada plus a Rahu, and he sees a Valerian, he's just going to ban the Shiada and say, okay, well, the Valerian, not going to be too crazy. Mizuki Makoto on Strive Bloodbath. Now you might think this is illegal on Strive, but honestly, I don't think it's too bad on Strive. I think it's pretty decent actually on Strive. She's not getting hit that much anyways, and I don't know, I like it sounds grief, but I kind of like it. I just kind of like it. I didn't have another good artisan anyways. Yeah, this is my build. Again, not very good build, to be honest, on the Mizuki Makoto. Didn't draft her too much because Tiamat just, with the new units that came out, like the Fusho, like the Plume, Tiamat's power just has risen so much compared to these defense scalers that Tiamat just wins, you know, so many times. Obel, didn't draft him. This is my Kazuyo. You can also run her on Bulwark instead of the speed. And I might just remove all of these pieces and give the Kazuyo pieces to someone else, because the Kazuyo has been nerfed quite a bit. Now, my red Kachi, I drafted him once with a Lilium Cleave. I think with the Lilium Cleave is actually kind of funny. But yeah, outside of that, didn't draft him. And these are units that I didn't really draft. The Hell Kid is a fraud. I used her in early season, but she's still not doing that much damage. Actually, the Freya, of course, is nice to speed contest. I really like the Freya actually against cleavers and control players. It can help a lot. Big fan of the Freya, actually. Big fan of the Freya. Especially if you have, if they ban the Tiamat and you ban protect, for example, the Holton, and you get a defense up onto the Holton, you can just counter attack and basically one-tap someone off rip. It's a very, very nice to have. Red Jockey, full speed, Swift Rush, Bloodbath, Gigabyte. She might be someone who could maybe go for the Jackal Guard, and I give that to the Sanya. That could be the play. Maybe I just do that actually, swap these two gears around. Rechiaki I also didn't draft too much. I think definitely the other healers are superior to her. Right, you have the Fusho that gives you the cycling. You have the Lingluo that protects you from getting controlled. And you have the Sanya that is just super good for HP increases for Tiamat and has insane cycling. Hizukimari I didn't draft, and this I didn't draft. So this is kind of my builds. And as you can see, some very nice builds. I'm very happy with how much I improved my Tiamat build at the end of the season. She was way slower, and also my Rahu was way slower. And now they are pretty good. I like their builds. Outside of that, of course, as you were able to see, in terms of the shells, there's still some shells missing. It's hard to snipe the right shells because many units kind of want the exact same shells because they're just better. You know, these matrix effects are just better than some of the other matrix effects. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Etheria Restart content, of course. And I wish you all a blessed day. I'm Ronny, and I'm out. Peace.